coconut water. I agree with that, actually. I also don't like coconut water, but I do like coconut a lot.
Yeah, not
but
me.
speaking of things I
coconut
love,
oil.
this is Mr. Most Days Mr. Most Days Off loves everything. And today we're talking about, I wrote action figures, but we're broadening it. It's going to be all collectibles because I've got a lot of cool people today to talk about all the cool things they collect. First off, we got Jenny and Goobs all the way from Canada celebrating their 10th wedding anniversary on a podcast today.
Thank you.
We've got Michael Martin, aka Rickshaw, from the Worship and Tribute Nerd podcast.
Oh, hello.
And we have my co-host from Best Darn Diddly, our weekly Simpsons podcast. It's Richie the Whiz Kid. How's everybody doing today?
Woo! Wait, where's that other guy? I'm gonna go
Decent
find
at best.
Excuse me, it's your anniversary. You should be better than decent at best. You should be overjoyed with emotion and happiness.
Yeah, why aren't you wearing all
yeah,
denim?
I know, right? Right?
Denim.
A Canadian tuxedo. Come on. All right,
right.
I'm the only one.
Oh,
Guys, we're
Nope,
talking
you're
about
not.
all
The
the
Canadians
things
got
that we actually collect today. And this episode for me was actually inspired when I visited Rickshaw's house when we recorded a live stream of playing, it was Mario Party 4 on the GameCube. And you showed me your garage, sir, and I was just like jaw-dropped by the amount of stuff that you have. So I guess we'll kind of get around to everybody, but I want to start with you. Like, what got you, what do you collect and what got you into it?
It's a slippery slope, being nerdy and just liking looking at things, but definitely when I was a kid, like the old school X-Men, like, you know what I mean? The old school X-Men with like the traditional packaging with the cardboard on the back.
The Toy Biz figures?
Yeah, I think they originally were, yeah. And
the ones that existed somehow from like 1988 to like 2004. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those were like unreal to me back in the day. And I had a bunch of them. But then, so, like we were talking about earlier, I used to be in this band called I Wrestled a Bear once. And somewhere before the band started with all my collecting, transitioning into doing band stuff and playing music all the time, I kind of like lost that part of me where that wanted to like collect action figures and like read comic books, because obviously, you have other things to like focus on. You're on tour all the time. You don't even have your own house. But then after the band ended, I started thinking things like, why the fuck am I not like on top of this? Like I would see an action figure at the store just like casually and be like, shit, why don't I have that? And they started putting a lot more into X-Men toys, I realized. And so I started collecting Marvel Legends, mostly the X-Men stuff. And
it's a great series.
Yeah, and
nice.
And then, of course, the movies made me love the Avengers. So then I started getting the Avengers ones. And then from there, I just, total addiction took over. And I like, but I mean, Ninja Turtles 90s.
Yes, that's my jam.
They've been putting out the new ones from NECA, and I'm like,
yeah,
can't
NECA fucking kill it, man.
Oh,
they look so good.
Yeah.
The video game, the ones from the arcade game are so rad. Like they're like pixelated or whatever.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
The Turtles in Time one?
Yeah, they're cool. We were looking at them.
I don't remember if it was Turtles in Time or the original arcade game.
Turtles, the arcade.
The arcade game was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, I think, from 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was super cool.
And you got like the 4 turtles, and it came with Shredder and then a whole bunch of foot soldiers. It's fucking badass.
Yeah. And this year, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive is the Ninja Turtle touring band from like
yes,
the
rock your shells off.
So cool,
dude.
So cool.
God. But but I've always collected comic books also. I mean, kind of the same story with that. Like, whenever I first was like enthralled with X-Men and, Marvel Comics, I collected a lot. So like maybe 5th grade and on. And then whenever I joined the band, I was moving here, moving there. And at one point we lived in Alabama because we got this house and recorded an album there. And then we were planning on moving after that. And our house got robbed while we were on, like, we ended a tour, and then we were home for one day, and then we started Warped Tour, and we came home to a trashed house, and all of our stuff.
Oh shit!
What a day! Like that's
Yeah.
supposed to be like your
Oh,
relaxation
so
day
sad.
or
Yeah.
like prep day or whatever, and then you have to deal with that shit.
Yeah, so the bummer thing is about that is like, we came home for that one day. I realized all my comics were gone.
Oh, dude.
So, and
So at least your burglar had taste.
Oh, so sad though.
I mean, he had
Oh, that's
plenty
a
of
dark
time.
spot,
like,
Miles.
Yeah.
yeah,
Silver lining, bro. Silver lining.
whoever it was, like, literally went through every cabinet in the house, like drawers and all. But like, I was most upset. Like, dude, my comic books, dude. Like, those are like,
That's fucked.
Yeah, like
That's like a
why?
personal thing, dude.
Yeah. But then after the ban ended, once again, you get used to normal life, and you're like, I would walk by the comic store and I would have to go in and I would see comics and I'd be like, why the fuck haven't I rebought that comic yet? So then
I need this to sit in a drawer in my house instead of a
Yes.
drawer in this comic book store.
so
Like,
that,
I need that to happen in this world.
yeah. And so that, mainly sums up what I kind of collect. Of course, you got the other things. Oh yeah. Also Star Wars. I got into Star Wars collectibles recently because the people on my channel wanted to do a marathon for the whole saga and cover
cool.
it. You know what I mean?
Were we talking about the like correct way to watch it, like the like best
Yeah.
order to watch
Right.
Star Wars in?
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
like,
remember having that conversation
Yeah.
recently. I thought it was you.
yeah. But then after, and I'm one of those fans that's like getting tired of Star Wars. It's everywhere. And then
Well, and the last trilogy sucks if you count it collectively. It's not
like I think it's still good. It's just it's not the movies that make me upset. It's like the way that everyone takes it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of just like,
I just didn't
Okay.
enjoy them like on any sort of like big scale level. But we'll talk about that on a Star Wars episode. Sorry. No, I think the figures are dope.
but yeah, and then I got into from that the Star Wars figures, the Black Series. So
That's awesome. Oh, those are good looking figures too.
Yes.
I remember seeing those in the Target
Yeah, they
craze.
definitely
like,
are.
it's nuts with those. But so
Yeah.
Goobs and
Especially
Jenny
the Mandalorian.
Beans, you guys also, I can actually see more of what you collect right now than I can see of you for what it's worth. But
this is just like a selection.
that's fair. Same thing. Talk a little bit about. Well, first of all, again, happy anniversary! You two nerds are actually spending
Thank
your
you.
anniversary together on a podcast, which is both sweet and again nerdy.
Yeah.
But
Really sweet. No, I'm kidding.
that is sweet. I'm glad you're here, and I want you guys to talk a little bit again. Did you guys collect separately before you collected together, or like tell us how you both got here?
I had more collection when I
It
met
was
her.
different things.
Her collection was fucking X-Files. No, I'm telling it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
I'm
X-Files,
that.
so proud. I don't care. I am
No.
so proud. I
She
don't
had
The
care.
two
truth is out
giant
there, and
cardboard
Goobs
boxes.
just revealed it.
It is
like
out there,
giant.
man.
Camera
It
here.
is.
Giant cardboard boxes, fucking
Full.
full of VHSs that she taped every episode.
Original airing. So like I had episodes that weren't shown on TV anymore and shit. I was like so happy.
That's
They
how-
finally bought me the DVD.
That's how
Yeah.
Simpsons got around for a long time. Is like before they were like officially released, people just like video recorded them.
Just like
and
wrestling.
like yeah, exactly like
Tape
racing,
traders.
tape traders.
Tape traders.
What a time to be alive, man.
But I don't know. For me, like, yeah. But for me, it started from when I was a kid, really. Like, my dad is a collector, but of like old people things, like stamps, you know? So,
Oh, not even. He's giving me some of my.
no, that's part. I'm getting there.
He does collect a lot of
Wait,
stamps.
wait. When you say
I'm
stamps,
getting
do you
there.
mean like postage stamps or like rubber stamps? Because people
Yes,
collect
yeah,
both of those
postage.
things.
Buddy, I'm talking like
Postage.
he probably has like
He has shelves.
shelves of books,
Okay, he loves them. But anyways,
folders.
regardless, so,
No,
like,
like a lot of fucking money of stamps. It's fucking
for
crazy.
sure. Like he can go to a stamp show and like
And with postage
How
going up
big,
all the time, I mean, they're basically worthless
Right.
now.
no, they're still no, money. You wouldn't even believe how much money some of these stamps are worth.
He's like, yeah, that's a $10,000 stamp.
Insane amounts.
It's like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Fucking
It's
bullshit.
crazy how all
But anyway,
collectibles
so,
go up like
like-
that. But yeah, go
That's
ahead.
like the original.
So when I
that's
was a
the
kid,
original
it started
Pokemon.
with like
Sorry. Gotta catch
so
them all.
when I was a kid, like he started us with like coins and then like we had like I did Disney, like I had Disney stamps, a Disney stamp collection. I still have it. It's fucking cool. And then it was collector cards, you know, like, so this is where he's going with this. So now my dad recently every year gives him
for Christmas or like
a
Father's Day or my birthday, I go up and you give me a folder. Because
like a binder,
a
binder.
I go and look through
They're
it, and
in
it's
sleeves,
like it's fucking mint cards. Like
mint
I got
condition.
RoboCop the movie cards, I got Ninja Turtles cards,
animated series and movie cards back in the day. Those were dope.
Yeah, dude, we have every single
buddy.
one.
Like I got folders of this shit.
Yep.
The hardest bubble gum you'll ever chew.
Then that and that.
Oh, I've done it once.
But, yeah, pretty much anything I was into, I would collect shit. Like, yeah,
that's awesome.
Pretty much. But then, yeah, when I met Goobs, it was now we collect together, you know. But he was more video games.
Sure, it makes sense.
And figures.
Seeing as you are on part of
like
the Secret Levels
collection.
podcast over there, I guess that
that's right.
Makes
Cheap pop. Well, can't see the hand in camera. The camera's opposite. Fuck sakes.
It's just like Canada.
I don't like. Stop. I don't even like being on camera, so it's distracting me. But we have a sad story about video games. That's not. It's kind of like your robber story, but it's sad.
Oh,
remember the guy?
Why are you bringing this up?
Because you have to. It's a sad.
Goobs got off camera to cry for a second. It's fine.
He did.
No, I did.
This really.
So I let this buddy
okay, like
this
little kid used to sell us drugs.
This little kid used to sell us drugs. Okay, continue.
This is a good start.
Yeah,
he was like 16. We were in college,
and like the windows, we would just pass. Like,
our windows were adjacent to each other, so we made like a net, so he can like give me weed and I give him money.
There we go.
They've got like a little drawstring that they can like send an envelope across.
Yeah,
of course.
And then so he was like, "Oh, we're having a big Nintendo 64 party." So I lent him like probably about 30 of my fucking games.
Honestly, the best ones. Like
dude.
Canadians are very trusting people. You have to remember this, right? We're like, yeah, hey, look here, we'll help you.
Sorry.
So after the party, the day after, I guess he woke up and he's making a fucking hangover meal.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker leaves burgers on the oven, lights the whole fucking house on fire.
Games up in smoke.
Oh.
To be honest, though, that's way better than what I thought.
The games were saved, but they were.
I thought that your friend was just gonna like rip you off. Like I thought he was just gonna straight rob you.
No,
but
no.
I forgot this
like,
story
this
takes
really
place in Canada, so there's no way that would happen.
Oh no, it
He was too stoned. He was upstairs, and
happens.
like, who puts burgers on the fucking oven and just walks upstairs and goes like chill?
Some 17-year-old stoner.
Fucking idiot.
But yeah, so
anyways,
he melted your cartridges.
I think we got like 6 back.
Wow.
I think we got maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, we got 5 or 6 back.
Not a lot, but like not the good ones. Like
like GoldenEye and Smash Brothers.
Now what do
gone.
we collect now?
Right.
That was a hot story, guys.
Melted.
I got them back though. I paid top dollar for it, but
but that's
I
mean, in a way, it's kind of like yours.
Today.
So you guys brought up old people,
but it's kind of
collecting.
like yours. You get to
I was gonna say you guys brought up old people collecting and specifically mentioned stamps, which I think is really funny because I just recently sent my co-host and friend from the Best Darn Diddly Review show, Richie, collectible stamps from the John Oliver show. Like they came.
You got me some
Oh my God,
those
cool.
things are hilarious. I can't wait.
So
Wait, does this mean I have to start collecting stamps now?
yeah, so old people is accurate because old person collector right now, and he is officially collecting stamps. No, Richie, same thing.
okay.
So I've obviously known you a really long time, and I know most of the things that you collect. I'll come back to you. We'll go back around the circle. Sorry.
Quit touching on things, Goobs.
Yeah, we're touching on things. So I actually know that
I will touch on all of you.
I know that your dad collected a lot of really cool stuff that you have, somewhere. But you also have been a collector yourself, of various miscellaneous pop culture. Kind of talk about all of the cool stuff that you have from you and your dad's collection.
Well, shit. Yeah, we have a little bit of everything. Movies, comic books. I was a huge Spider-Man nerd in the 90s, so I have a box full of the 90s cartoon Spider-Man toys, but they're not in collectible shape. They're all out of the box because I played with them and painted on them and shit like that. But that was very near and dear to me. I found a box recently full of my old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toys, and I forgot how many of those I actually have.
That's awesome.
Different versions of the Zords all forming together, and it's just like I assume they're worth money,
shit.
So cool.
but I don't know if they're actually worth anything because again,
Yeah,
I played with my
definitely
I
are.
played with my toys though, so they're.
Even played with toys are
Doesn't
worth
matter.
something,
Yeah.
man.
But I left that in the box. Something really cool my dad got me well before, like 20 years before we decided to do a podcast about it is I have a box of 6 collector's edition Simpson plates that like you hang up on the wall. And they're from like famous scenes in the first
collector
season.
plates.
You got like the Dr. Marvin Monroe scene.
Speaking of old people things.
Yeah, I know, right?
You collect plates and stamps, dude. You are my
Exactly,
grandma.
My dad was more of the
Do you have spoons?
no, not yet. I'm getting there.
They're in the
I do,
China hutch.
sadly.
Yeah. My dad was more of the kid at heart because he would find the coolest stuff. He got me like a Cloud from Final Fantasy VII that I had in a display case. I have this really cool Doctor Strange night light. Basically, he's like this huge, and he has magic coming out of his hands, and that lights up the room. So that's pretty cool, and that's all stuff that he just went out and found. But I definitely feel like the collector was brought out when I was a kid because we used to go to this place. I don't even remember what the name of the comic book store was, but they had a membership called the Good Guy Club, and it was a little card with a cowboy on it, and you got discounts. But they'd also give you newsletters of when there were like events that, like if there was a comic book event like in a back alley somewhere, you knew about it. And in the comic book store, we got a few issues of the Maximum Carnage series of Spider-Man.
Nice.
And when we realized we were missing like 12 issues of the series, we started going to these back alley events to find them all. And it was like this 3-week trip on the weekends. We'd be going out just hunting these books down. My dad would be calling places saying, hold on to it. And I know there was one time where somebody said they had it and it ended up being the wrong number. And then at the last minute, something happened where we found the last one and we went and found it. And I think that kind of started our collecting feeling there.
That is
And
amazing.
the sad story is kind of like Goobs. I lent out that series to somebody in my early years of college. I don't know which friend has it, but they have, I think it was 14 issues that made up Maximum Carnage. And it spanned a whole bunch of different Spider-Man series.
Ooh.
And I have like this huge case of comics here. I have this huge bookshelf, but I don't know where my Maximum Carnages are. So if you're listening to this,
We have
if
an
you're
empty
listening to this
space
and
in
you
your
have
heart.
it, that is a near and dear series to my heart, and I would like it back. But not near and dear enough for me to go get it.
This story takes place in America, so that shit was definitely stolen.
I'm
I
pretty
just,
sure it's one of
like
those.
it's crazy to me
Totally.
that we all
And
that we all
probably
have
Pond.
like this story of tragedy of losing like our collection at one point in time, and it's like made us all respect it or something like a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get to like, I mean, in a way, you can at least you can enjoy rebuilding it.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
I
You
mean,
have to
it's like
rebuild.
love.
You can kind of enjoy that moment where you see that figure again, and you're like, oh.
Well, it's the
you
same
know,
thing
or
as like
a
that's
game
why we're
again.
buying all this shit
Yeah.
again, because going through that whole like when you're a kid, the
I miss-
nostalgia thing, right?
Yeah, all the shit your parents.
Like I had all the
sold.
He-Man
Yeah.
figures.
Dude, I had the
all given
He-Man
away.
bed sets,
My Little
like
Ponies.
my like comforter and sheets for the
Oh
He-Man
my
show.
God.
Nice.
And then
Those
and then I
two.
upgraded
Oh,
the Ninja
so
Turtles.
cool.
But
I
like
love
it was
sleeping
so,
with
Wait,
like,
wait. I didn't hear Miles' story of tragedy.
you know, honestly, I don't really have like a tragedy as much as I was just
Sure.
stupid because I was like one of those kids. I remember selling
Kidding.
a vast majority of my action figures for like $0.25 at a garage sale, and it was all because
I love kids like you.
I
Yeah,
hate
you
myself.
kids are my.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
go
I
and buy
love
the
I
whole-
love kids like me now. Hate myself back then, but like I even remember specifically the garage sale where I like made a bulk sale offer with like so many of my toys, and it was to get this shitty PlayStation 1 game where you played as like a jet fighter, and it was a trash fucking game. And like you know, like those that's my tragedy is I saved up like $60 of sold figures that I way undervalued to buy a game,
Which is
that I
probably worth
played
$10,000.
twice. It's
You
a
still have
scrap,
the
and it's
game to
probably
remind you
hell
of
no,
the-
I
Sold your
don't.
memories
I probably
for
sold
shit.
that to get another video game because like,
Something
and
else.
that's why now I'm like
That's
practically a
funny.
hoarder. I'm like, nope, I'm holding on to it. We're keeping it. It might have value.
That's the thing, man. Like, I have a big problem because I'm a bit of a hoarder, but I'm like, no, I'm not a hoarder.
There's
I'm
a diff.
collector.
That's
Like,
a classy
you don't know.
thing, you know.
It's just part. It's all part of a
That's like the
collection,
difference
like-
between drinking
but
a
it's
bottle of
got depth,
wine by
man.
yourself or going to a wine tasting. Like, yeah, sure, it's at 11 in the morning
Yeah.
regardless, but one of them's classy. All right.
The whole wine bottle, right?
That's it. But yeah.
Yeah. So, Hubes, you kind of
I mean,
touched
I don't
on,
drink, but I could
something I
assume.
A
wanted
little bit of the
to
bubbly.
a little bit of the bubbly. You kind of, and that's actually another big thing I think that we both collect. I know Goobs and I for sure is wrestling stuff. Michael, I don't remember seeing wrestling stuff at your place. I can't remember now. I was overwhelmed by your X-Men figurines.
So I have like a little bit of wrestling. I do have like I am into wrestling. It's just priorities come about
Sure.
whenever you're talking about spending all your money on figures. But I do have a
Shit's
very sick
expensive, yeah.
Ultimate Warrior that I saw
Hell
a few
yeah.
years ago, and I had to have it. There's like another time where I saw a Bret Hart that came with all like sunglasses and different leather jackets, and I was like, coming back for you. But then COVID happened, so
That fucks up a lot of stuff, dude. So you
There's
guys
a
both
new,
kind of touched on something.
There's a new Bret Hart coming out, actually.
really.
Oh, really?
I want to make it.
Sorry, one sec. There's a new Bret Hart coming out. It's a 2-pack with Goldberg, and he has like the fucking metal thing on his, like you can put the metal thing on his stomach so the
Oh,
the spear.
dude, that's awesome! Like
Where he
Back to
hurt
the
him,
Future 3
and
style.
they're doing. Yes, they're doing the last Ultimate Warrior figure that's coming out soon. Like him as old, like when he did the whole thing on Raw, and he comes with like the mask he
like
had
right
on his
before he
hand,
passed away. That's
like,
crazy.
that he
dude.
was wearing. Yeah, like the day he died.
So that
That's
went
cool.
sad, but you were both touching on something I wanted to talk about anyway, and that is essentially the question: why do we do this? Like, why do you think people collect? Like, what causes this like insanity? Anyone
Who
can
wants
jump
to go
in.
first?
Yeah.
I'll say it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's probably because like there's something about when you're young. It's nostalgia completely, but like when you're young, you see certain things, and you're like, from that point on, you're like, this is the coolest shit I will ever see in my life. And then when you get older,
Damn right.
that you go through a phase of like change, and then you get to the spot where you go, damn, real life kind of sucks, but remember that time that I saw that thing that was like, I've never seen anything cooler than that. So like you revisit it whenever you're like seeing figures, especially with like
you
the
like
time.
flood your house with it to distract you for just a second of how much life really sucks.
Right. Yeah, it's like, oh, cancer. Well, at least I could look at these cool things that remind me.
Look how pristine this edition 1 Wolverine is. There's
Right.
not a mark on
At
it.
least I can read
That
some
figure
Batman
doesn't have
during
cancer.
like chemo. Like,
Well,
I honestly, I want to say real quick that like, okay, so I wrote down the original date we were going to do this. And then whenever you said you wanted to redo it, I was like, man, yeah, I could do that. But I don't know if I'll be home. I also recently just moved to Austin. So now that I'm
cool.
I see y'all's, collections behind you. And I'm actually in Denton when I just moved to Austin. So I'm like, I want my figures behind me, damn it. So that explains why they are not part of my scenery.
They're still
right
in your heart. We can see them.
Yes, exactly. And also for your story, they just Marvel Legends is redoing a line of Spider-Man that are all retro, and they all come in the original old school like animated series look at packaging.
I remember those.
Yeah.
That's fucking
cool.
awesome.
That's gonna
So
be cool.
they're doing a new. It's like just now hitting stores on the internet. Like people are posting about it or whatever, but they definitely do.
Yeah, because Comic-Con's going on this week, and they're dropping all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy, Electro, Mysterio, all in their old school costumes. So it's pretty dope.
oh, it's
Miles,
so
you didn't
cool.
tell me it was going to cost
Electro
money
with
to be here
the
today.
waffle face.
You can
This is
buy all
like
shit.
having a podcast with a bunch of crackheads and then just like holding crack up and like
Who wants a
Yeah,
little?
pretty much.
Drain
Well, I
it
think
out.
there's definitely a sense in collecting a little bit, I think, of competition too. Like you said, when you see people with all the stuff in the background, it's not like it's not an angry competition, but I mean, you want the stuff. You want to be able to be like, it's kind of like in a screwed up way, a status symbol to be like, well, I have the first appearance of Wolverine behind me right now, and with the wrong people.
Well, mine's ranked 9.7 out of 10.
exactly.
Well, stop paying attention to our wall.
But it can give you the sense of joy, and it can, like, I mean, I know you guys were joking about cancer earlier, but like My dad, when he got diagnosed, we hadn't collected comics in over 10 years, but when he got diagnosed, I had the first volume of Walking Dead comics, and he was going on a trip, and he was really depressed. He was going basically to spend time with family, and he was like, all that's around the town is a comic book store. And I was like, go get more of the Walking Dead comics. And he came back from that trip with like 6 volumes of The Walking Dead. He started collecting Fables, which we have the whole series now. And we just started collecting all these different series, and I hadn't touched them in years. And now I've got a bookshelf and a whole other thing full of that kind of stuff because it honestly just gave him joy, and he read each and every one of them. I have Sandman behind me, and I haven't even started that.
That's awesome.
Miles, that's where we got Preacher from, and I know
That's a cool
we both enjoyed that. So it can be a distraction in a good way.
You just said like,
Yeah, and that's like what I find it is.
Well, you also got a piece of
Yes.
him around all the time, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
he's read those books, so like when you're reading those, you can go back and like remember those fond memories.
when you said that
It's fucking badass.
it's like a competition, I agree and disagree in that like I don't necessarily think it's like I think there are people who do the status symbol thing, but I think a lot of people it's more of like it's almost like an expression of love or like mutual joy. And that, like, when I go over to Michael's house and I've never met him before and I'm seeing all his stuff, like, I instantly know this is a person that, like, I can bond with over all of these different things. And, like, if I see something he has and I'm like, ooh, I want that, it's not like I want his. It's like his makes him happy. Mine make me happy, too.
I feel like it's...
yeah.
I want to be happy like
it's kind of
you
like
are.
a treasure hunt, too, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah.
Or, you know, like...
It is, yeah.
If you're in the, you know, what's the movie where they travel around the earth and it's like the big race, like Rat Race or something like that.
I fucking
It's
love
like-
Rat Race.
It's like if
Yeah.
It's a race.
if you're all on this race or if you're all on this treasure hunt and like, you know, you're just kind of like helping each other out, sometimes not helping each other out, but as long as you're all getting there, that's what's the fun thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Right. You're not
So-
going to like hoard multiple copies of something when it's like, hey, my
Right.
friend is also looking for this. It's like, I found
Right.
this sweet deal on whatever thing you happen to collect.
but if you
Oh,
get
is
to
that how
the
I'm supposed to
treasure
do it?
first, you know, you can.
I mean, if you're
kinda
both
not
hunting for
let
like the
someone
same
know.
thing, of course, fine, just first come,
Right.
first third.
It's Rat Race.
Right.
Yeah.
Or does that turn into Jingle All the Way? You're both hunting for the
That's
same
a great
thing.
movie, dude.
So-
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
That is
It
a
is a
fantastic
good
movie.
one.
So, Michael, you talked about earlier, and another thing that I thought was really interesting. So you traveled with the band. Again, It was I Wrestled a Bear Once.
Right.
You were on the road, like had very little like sense of home life. Did you have a thing that you still like kept with you, like did you, like almost like a token to remind you of your collector ways at that time?
Well, at that time, okay, so like it was kind of like midway through the band that I realized, you know, that I was like neglecting that nerdy collector part of me. So then after a while, I would start being like, how far is the venue away from like this comic book store? So I would like, as we would set up and just have time to kill, I would walk to the comic book store and I would like see old volumes of the ones that got stolen. And I would buy those up. So it would just like a little pile would start in the van, you know, for what I'm going to like read or, you know, maybe get graded or something like that. But then also I got really into finding cool X-Men shirts and then cutting the sleeves off of them and wearing them while I played on stage. So I was like repping my
Does
shit.
going sleeveless make you a better musician?
No, it makes you
Of course.
sweat way less. But also
That's fair. I was just
if you already sweat from head to toe, I would sweat clothes out. I would ruin clothes. So that X-Men shirt or that Marvel Zombie shirt were like my show clothes for like a month here.
because you
and a
know that
month
they were
there.
just going to
Yeah,
always have that little off-putting smell to them.
exactly. Yeah.
I
It
had
was,
one of
it
those.
was it was essentially me in the weight room in high school being like, check it out. Check it out, guys.
Anyone know where the gym is?
Yeah, that way.
Richie, what were you going to say?
I was like, I had one of those X-Men shirts that I got from Thrift Town. It was my volleyball shirt whenever I wanted to impress everybody with
Nice.
my nerdiness. And I definitely cut the sleeves off of that.
Nice. Then you get a spike on someone and be like, Cyclops, bitch.
Let alone you're playing volleyball.
Hey,
I think the
Volleyball is
sleeveless
the
shirt.
shit.
Volleyball is the shit, dude. Don't go hard on that. But
Fuck, it's not as good as lacrosse.
What?
I mean,
Nobody
Dude,
outside of the US even knows how to play
Play
lacrosse.
lacrosse.
If
Well, I wish
if
I
we
could.
were all together and we had a ball, we could figure out a way to play volleyball. Like we would take a lot more
Good
effort
idea.
to get lacrosse going.
In a 90s movie, if you come across a bunch of dudes with their shirts off playing volleyball, don't fuck with them. That's
No,
that's
dude.
all I'm saying.
You're either going to get
Oh,
beat up
no.
or a boyfriend.
Walk the
Like
other
one
way.
of the two.
Depending.
Bob, get that hockey ball out of here.
Hockey ball. I mean, that is actually a pretty funny way to put it. It kind of makes sense. I have no
Oh, fuck you, Bob.
very hostile right out the gate.
This is from the north.
Oh,
I mean,
It's
does
fair.
Bob even
Down
know what
south.
hockey is in
Oh,
Florida?
what?
Do they?
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just kidding.
have
What do
a
you think
team
about the
down
new
there.
Seattle team name? Huh?
Right?
That's a different podcast.
Seattle
Seattle Kraken.
viruses?
Honestly, I kind of want to start collecting for the Kraken.
Crackheads?
Kraken's cool.
No, that is pretty cool. But they're not the Toronto Maple
You
Leafs,
guys
so I
also-
don't really care.
I want to talk
Okay,
quickly about
yeah.
one of my loves.
I was gonna ask a question, but I'll ask it
Let
later.
him
You
talk
go
about
first.
his love.
So above me, you can probably see a bunch of like they look like Nintendo video game boxes, Sega boxes, all this shit, and they're NECA figures. But they repainted a whole bunch of them to look like how they did in the video
Oh,
games,
cool.
and they're fucking amazing.
So,
They are really cool.
Like the Terminator, you got Rocky, you got Jason, Freddy, fucking
Dude, I would
Leatherface
love the purple
from
Jason.
Atari.
That'd
They
be
all
really
paint
cool.
them.
dope. I love Purple Jason.
Yeah, I got the purple Jason, and when you open it up, it plays
Oh
the
my
music
God.
from the video
Yeah.
game. And it has his mother head on the pedestal.
Yeah, it's
But
so
those,
fucking
like, I've been collecting those well over the years. They did the Contra
Oh,
figures too, which are pretty badass. And like the
Nice.
Alien ones, the Predator ones are so fucking cool. But that's like my one solid collection. I think I got every single one of them besides San Diego Comic-Con Jason that started all off, the glow in the dark one.
Yeah.
And the Turtles ones, because those are super fucking expensive. But now if you're going to get them, like they're a little bit pricey. You can find some of like the RoboCop ones and shit like that for around. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But they
Man,
all come
see,
in
that's
nice
high,
boxes.
dude.
But I
That-
don't
that-
want to
that-
open them, but I do.
I'm with you. Like that's the this stuff costs so
Well,
much.
some of those are worth
like
like $200 or $300.
And that I was gonna ask you, what is like the most that you've ever paid, and what do you see yourself like the most you would ever be willing to pay for a collectible?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, now it depends. Like, if I have a lot of money, then I don't fucking care. Because I'm one of those people that if I love something and it makes me happy, I'm gonna fucking buy it. Because that's why I buy my shit. Because I can come home from my shitty day and look at it and be like, oh, I love my Nightmare Funko or whatever it is. Like, it's just my Halloween Town or like.
See,
it makes me
that's
happy,
something
you know?
actually I know
So
you and I
really,
both love is just
I would pay a
Halloween in
shitload
general.
for a lot
and,
of things.
like we could
Oh,
probably talk a
fucking-
whole
yeah.
episode about
She has a whole fucking wall of
we could probably
Halloween
talk about
sculptures.
that in general,
we could
but yeah, I'm
talk
kind of
many
with your
episodes.
mentality to some extent. Like it's like, you know, why not? You got it and it makes you happy.
Mhm.
Fucking do it.
Yeah, like what else is the point of life except giving yourself some kind of happiness, right? So, but I mean, in my situation right now, I'm not going to go fucking buy myself a 66 Batmobile because I can't fucking afford a real one. But if I was a bazillionaire, fuck yeah, I'd have one sitting in my driveway. Like,
Is that
you know,
is that your
fucking
dream
right,
like collectible car? If
it's
you could
just
have
one of
one,
the
would be the 1960s. Yeah.
100%. A
Who-
car.
what is I'm actually
100%.
that's a good
Yeah,
question. What is
60s
everybody's
Batmobile.
like dream collector's car?
Ecto 1, motherfucker.
100%.
What about the
for
Turtles
you,
van?
Yeah,
Ooh, that's a good choice
mean,
too.
I'm gonna say Tim Burton Batman.
that is cool.
Yeah, Batmobile.
Okay, I'm gonna
Batmobile
change
was
mine
the
then.
sickest there ever has
Mine
been.
is the DeLorean from Back
It
to the
was
Future
fucking
2,
sweet.
hands down.
Yeah.
Nice.
DeLorean.
I'm
yeah.
changing mine.
Why?
I want the Mirthmobile.
Oh,
The limo version.
No, the normal one with the licorice dispenser.
What about Jenny Bean kind of chimed in there? What else? What is like the most you've ever spent on a collectible, and do you have like any buyer's regret over it?
I'm gonna go. Am I talking? Is it
Sure.
good?
Yeah.
I can tell you
Anyone is ready. You can go ahead and talk.
Oh, sorry,
I
go
don't
ahead.
know. I can't hear myself, and it's confusing me. I don't know why. Anyways, dude. So here's the thing: is like it doesn't even have to be that old for you to want to spend money on it. Like like collecting has gotten out of control recently with the amount of people that are scalping and stuff.
Oh God.
And like, okay, so here's a thing that's happening right now. Walmart exclusive 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure 2-pack, and it has Casey Jones and disguised Raphael.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
How much am I about to
I've
spend?
seen this
So
online. Holy fuck! I would spend $200
If you
on
look at the
that.
right
No
Walmart,
question.
it's $50. And then, but if you look online, it starts at like 150.
Oh my
So,
God.
so it's one of those things where like
But
I
they're
would
so
spend $100 on it if I hadn't just moved during a pandemic and got a new job. But right now,
But now the
Yeah.
important question: would you open it? Would you open it?
I don't know. I think I might have to.
I
think
would
have to.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd have to play with it.
Exactly.
How could
Casey
you
Dude,
not?
I am
So
way
many
new
different
in box.
hands.
Like I
Yeah.
don't open anything. I'll buy open
Oh, not
figures,
me.
but if I buy it in a good package,
No, not me.
I don't open it.
Hey, I'm just
No, I buy my figures new usually, but I love I love figures like Nendoroids and shit with different faces and hands. So like you have to take
I
that
just
shit
don't
out just to
understand
play with it.
how do you have a
I
boner and
change
not
them up
play
every
with
month
it?
or
I'm
so.
just saying. You know what I mean?
Well, some of us have a little more self-control than others on this podcast.
Some of us are perverts.
That's not true.
Right.
Miles, the poster boy for self-control.
Yeah,
You got to pick and choose your battles, I guess.
that's fair. What about you, Rich?
Man, honestly, collectible wise, I probably spend more money on collector's editions of video games than like actual figures and things like that. I've never really put a price on anything that I've gone out for. It's one of those things where, I mean, especially now you're an adult. If you see something and you like it, get it. I bought a couple things like I really like Think Geek, even though I know they're partnered with that other company we won't mention.
Mhm.
But
GameStop.
the first place I always
You
They're good
literally
and
made
bad.
somebody
I hate
leave
it.
when you said GameStop. You said GameStop, and they're like, "Fuck this place, I'm out."
Yeah.
Bye bye.
But I always
Yeah.
go right to the figurine shelves when I go into Think Geek because usually they have a lot of cool stuff. I still want the Sonic and Tails ones that they have. I spent like $50 on the Rick and Morty one where they're going through a portal grabbing beer bottles on their way through. But like outside of that, I have thrown some money down on collector's editions of video games like Uncharted 4 because it came with like the huge Nathan Drake statue, a replica of his ring that you can wear, his belt buckle, and stuff that I'm going to take out of the package.
Is
Both.
cock ring or
You gotta
normal?
change it if you did. But it's stuff that I immediately took out of the package because I'm like, I am now Nathan Drake with a huge beer belly, and I'm going to leap across tall distances and grab onto ledges.
Oh, Jenny's
What do we
pulling
got?
shit down.
What is she going for? Oh,
Oh no, I wait my turn.
But
Don't worry.
I feel like
wait
I
my
have some
turn.
decent stuff. I got my baseball.
It's
Whoops,
good.
I did a goobs. Got my baseball right there that I think is pretty valuable that I got for free.
Okay.
Have you seen my baseball?
what is it autographed or what's going on with
It
your
is
baseball?
autographed by Pudge Rodriguez himself. So
Oh, I know something
Nice.
else in that room that's autographed by Pudge Rodriguez.
yeah, I can
Very
do that.
cool.
I did
I
it
mean, I
right the
don't
first
know who
try.
that
Right
is,
there
but
is
very
two
cool.
Pudge autographs in the background.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff on
Right.
my shelf on the top row behind me
Yeah.
is from Miles or because of Miles, with the exception of the baseball.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with that. That's true.
I got a little collectible stuff in like every genre. I just realized with doing this show, so that's pretty cool. I
Yeah,
have value.
I don't do much of the sports
That is
collecting. I think that you would probably be the leader in that category on this podcast. Anybody else do
Yeah, I
sports?
don't- not really.
So,
No,
for
no.
everyone
I'm
watching
not
this
into
show,
sports.
I want you to know the entire panel outside of Richie just admitted that wrestling is not a sport.
No, we're
Oh.
just saying wrestling is the sport.
We know it's sports entertainment.
You said you have nothing-
Richie. Come on.
That's
Nothing
why we're
technical.
also pro drugs, Richie. This podcast is pro wrestling and pro drugs. That was a steroids joke. I guess I didn't like. I have like missed
Yeah,
all
we'll
of
show
my
something,
jokes today, man. This is bad.
Dude,
It's
you're
all right.
doing great. You're
It's
doing
all
great,
right.
and you're handsome.
Oh, thank you.
I want to show off a
Richie.
little, like, one of my
Fuck
like
you too, Bob.
rails.
He also said think he makes a few tiki mugs that he loves, and Bob, that's another thing. Bob collects mugs, so like the collection spectrum
Yeah.
is like all over the place.
I have a coffee mug collection too. I have fucking like
Yeah, you have
30
a
or
bunch of
40
fucking coffee
mugs. Like,
mugs.
a lot of anime
My
ones, 'cause I
favorite
love
thing that
anime.
I've thought about like throughout
Yeah.
this whole thing
Kind
though
of a
is
nerd.
just like people in the like 40s or something, like with their stamp collections, and they're like like two kids are like, I'm
It's
fucking.
more than
He's
40.
like, I'm gonna get your
Like
fucking
50s
George
and
Washington,
60s, yeah.
goddamn it! Like one of these days, you're gonna trade me. I'm gonna get something. I gotta get them all. I gotta have them all.
He gets like the 2nd through 10th
Oh,
president
so
to
great.
trade for the first one. Like it's like a
Right.
completely unbalanced, unfair deal. But
And it's
You just
like,
gotta have
you
it.
know,
2
they have like
Lincolns,
power ratings, on the backs of them.
or like it's like
Find 100.
I've got like a right-handed Lincoln. It's a misprint.
Right. And they're like, check this out. I got Abe Lincoln.
Well, shit,
Power
that's worth
set.
a
Free
lot.
the slaves. Boom! Blew it up.
Goops, can we talk about your hat real quick? Can I see that again? I like that hat, buddy. Yeah, that's kind of collectible in
Streets
itself.
of Rage?
Actually, very collectible.
He's
Yeah,
like
you
a
just-
hat collector, man. He's got like
I got a
50
bunch of
bucks
hats.
of
Your
nerd
hat wall, like
yeah.
you've shown on the Discord, I think.
Oh, that's Ripkin. Ripkin
Yeah,
has
okay.
a hat
Freaking,
wall.
yeah. Ours are just on hooks, like not like.
But I want to show something like you say the expensive things. I actually found this on $15 at EB Games or Think Geek
Sorry.
or whatever.
No,
Oh,
GameStop,
wow.
not thinking.
But I pull this off my shelf. You can hear the music there.
Tight.
Oh, dude, that's
Wow.
awesome.
Dude, that's sick.
Probably one of my favorite things in my collection.
That's
Do you jerk
amazing.
off while that's on your hand?
Basement's fucking... What was that?
Do you masturbate while that's on your hand?
No.
I don't even want to.
Oh, it's a flashlight.
Yeah, you put that part in your butt and you shoot it in your butt.
And it's no longer collectible. It's collecting something else
Oh,
entirely.
that didn't
It's on the floor.
No, it's not on the floor.
So
Thank
So
God.
I guess that leads us to our next question. What is the weirdest collectible that you guys all have? Like, what's the weirdest thing that you have in your collection?
Oh,
Did you want to show anything off quick first?
Oh, it's.
Oh yeah, Jenny, you have something on deck. Go ahead and
Weirdest
show that
thing?
while they think.
Yeah,
I
she
do.
does.
Okay,
She has a
so
couple
we were
things on
talking
deck.
About our most expensive
Yeah.
collectibles. So, okay, so I have two of my most expensive. They're right behind me. That's why I grabbed them. So this first one, like the figure itself, not so expensive, but my time that I waited in line for how long
Long time.
and how much did it cost me? Like over $100, I think.
Probably.
Right? Okay. Signed. Hold it up so you can see the love.
Ooh.
Okay. The love of my life, Bruce
Very
Campbell.
see.
cool.
Okay.
It's autographed.
And then this was my birthday present that I got from Goobs. And this is the one, these are like the two figures I've never opened.
Oh, Harley Quinn. from
Oh,
Batman. That's
nice.
awesome, dude.
nice.
Oh, it's a 2-pack.
And the Mad Love version, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes
What?
with the comic book inside.
Yeah, with the comic.
That you'll
but I've
never read.
opened it. But those are
Yeah.
like my, no, I've read Mad Love
I'm just
before,
kidding because you won't
but
open it.
It's not like I haven't read it before. Yeah, no, we're not opening
It
it.
stays
But
closed.
yeah, those are like my
Since you have that, well, there's
For
some
my
thinking.
figures,
Like,
like-
I don't know if this is like the most expensive by any means, but just the one that I think I love the most. I have this series from the Ninja Turtles meets wrestling.
Oh, the Macho Man
Dude.
Mikey.
Oh, those are cool.
I almost
Yeah.
went with the Leonardo John Cena just because that's such the perfect fit of Ninja Turtle personality to wrestling
couldn't see him.
personality.
It is.
But yeah, of course, you wouldn't want to
Yeah.
be able to see it on camera.
I have nothing to show off except for the things I picked up in Denton.
Like while you're there right now.
Yeah, I did pick up a few things. I'll show them off in a minute.
Very
I'm in
cool.
that same boat as you, but I'm just lazy at unpacking because I have the weirdest thing that I have. Miles can attest; he's seen this numerous times. Jenny Bean, you're gonna love this from what you said at the beginning of the episode. I have a Barbie and Ken set as Mulder and Scully.
You don't fucking
As Mulder
have
and
it.
Scully.
Oh, shit.
You know how long I've been. I still don't have those fucking Barbies, okay? And I'm still angry about
Again,
it.
I gotta
man.
give prop.
They
Still-
exist.
Oh
That's
my
that's
God.
because of my father. He was a huge
No,
fan.
I know they exist, but like
No, I mean
they were so when they came out, they were like $100. They're very expensive. So my parent, like, I couldn't afford it. I was like a teenager, you know. Throughout my life, it's something I've always wanted to rebuy, but I can't justify. But oh my god, that's so
my
awesome.
dad found it somewhere and brought it home, and I was like, "Why do you have a Barbie and Ken?"
That's so
And then
cool.
he
Nice.
he had a lot of
So
the
cool,
Star
though.
Trek collectible stuff too later in his life, and It might be
Nice.
one of those like really
That's
expensive
awesome.
little ones that were made by the different company. Man, I'm supposed to be knowledgeable and I'm not knowledgeable at all, but it's in the Toys That Made Us. I think they talk about it a little bit, but
Dude,
Yeah,
I
a
love
couple
that series.
phases.
That is
Oh,
such
yes,
a good
yes,
series.
yes. Me.
I'm
It was
partisan,
good.
but like I definitely love the Ninja Turtle episode the most. Like that was just so like such a like good. Well, like the way they got into like the creators' feud and everything, like that was super cool. But all of that series, even
My Little Pony was pretty awesome
and I
too.
agree, the Barbie one, it was like, oh my god, the CEO of Barbie is ruthless, dude. Like,
yep.
oh my god,
She's
yeah,
crazy.
like she will crush you. Like it does not matter if you get in her way.
I'm surprised Barbie's not called Karen.
It probably
guys
was
know why-
originally.
You guys know why Barbie never got pregnant, right?
Why?
She's
Because
made of
Ken always
plastic.
came in a different box.
I thought that was going to be a dad joke, but that's definitely not a dad joke.
that was an uncle's
I
joke.
like that.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a little birdie, not too bad.
That
I
was
like it.
perfect.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
wait,
pretty
those
sure you
were
just
some
drew
weird-
Bob away. You can't handle it.
Bye bye buddy.
All right, I do though. I want to know what is the weirdest thing in your guys' personal. You don't have to show it off if it's not handy, but just talk about it.
Hmm.
Bob came back. You can
I'm not
tell more
really-
jokes.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
thought you
trying
just
to
asked
I
us what
got
the weirdest
it,
thing was.
What's
Now I'm
your-
confused.
Yeah, but then Jenny showed off something else.
I think I got a Lizzie McGuire game.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, from your
What
sister.
system?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think
I
it's
think it's for DS, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
like a future episode
Original.
of Secret
DS.
Levels.
You should do that as an episode of Secret
It
Levels.
could be.
DS is too new. No.
I want to collect the Mary Kate and Ashley games.
Ugh. Grown. Don't take my $5 away.
Is that the,
It's
those
hard
go
to
for?
think of anything weird.
Richie, you probably just said yours, honestly.
I thought that's what we were talking about before. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, you jumped. I didn't realize. Yeah, we kind of went backtrack, but that totally works. That was a really cool set. I don't
That
know
was a
how
semi-segue.
weird it is, but I've got this right here, which is actually a PlayStation 2 neon light that does work.
Oh no.
But
That's
Richie, it's really the story of how I got it more than like its intrinsic value. But it does work, and it's super cool. And it makes my whole room blue. And if I'm like tripping or something, or just like a little high, like it's just like a
That's
nice
awesome.
chill vibe it puts out. So I absolutely love it.
Is that from a store?
It's from a GameStop, technically.
Nice.
Oh fuck! Did you rip it off the wall?
Well,
I love this. Technically.
that didn't. That I actually
the
just
statute
got-
of limitations already passed by at this point.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the story, even if it's not. So the light itself, I actually got from just like a former GameStop manager who I'm pretty sure stole it himself, but then was moving. And he literally was like first person to like, he sent it to like a group of us. And he's like, the first person who gets this like light can have it. And I lived in the same apartment complex as him. So I just like went straight to his apartment, like walked in and
So
took
it's like
it.
Fast and Furious. First person to get to the car.
Or it's like Rat Race.
It is more like Rat Race. But Richie and I actually, was it the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Richie? Was that the game that came out that I like stole the sign from GameStop and I almost got you fired?
Yep.
So Richie worked at a, and I visited there frequently. And one day they had this really cool display that I literally just walked out the door with as I was leaving and then just like bailed. And like I had it in the apartment for a few days, and then finally Richie had to be like, "Dude, they're like threatening my job. They know you have it. You have to bring it. You have to give it back." And I was mad, and I'm like, "Dude, they don't know that I have it. They think that I have it. If you don't break, they don't know shit." But like, I brought it back.
I can't really think of anything weird. I mean, just like, you know, I guess, you know, someone people used to bring me gifts, you know, whenever I was in the band and stuff. And the coolest
We
gift.
already talked about selling underwear before the show started, bro.
No, we were talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trading cards. I've had someone bring me a bunch of those, and they were never been opened and stuff, and they're still in my sock drawer. That's not weird, but like kids have definitely been weird, so that's why I associated the two.
Yeah, no, I could see that as being weird.
Kids have definitely been weird to me
Oh, that's
before.
the weirdest
What? This is kind of a tangent, but what's the weird? Just like
I
real
don't
quick,
think
what's like the weirdest
Oh, I know
experience you
one.
had with a fan interaction?
I mean, I've seen weirder happen to other people I'm standing with. Like, I mean, kids are generally weird, or they punish you, which if you don't know what punishing it is, it's like when they lock you into a conversation and they won't let you leave no matter the situation. So there's even
you're like, all right, well, I gotta know. Well, just one more thing.
Yeah, but I've seen my merch guy. This kid was like insisting we stay at his house because we didn't have anywhere to stay. We're like, is it cool with your parents? He's like, yeah, it wasn't. And so when we get there, it's like, who are these strange people in the house? And then we finally clear it up and they're like, it's fine. And then he puts on Purple Rain and he fingers my merch guy's belly button. And Eli, his name was Eli. And he looked down at it happening. And then he looked up and he looked at me and goes, I'm gonna go sleep in the van. Good night. so that was, I was like, keep an eye on this kid.
Purple rain, purple rain.
Does that like a song bring PTSD now? Like,
I mean, I just think of that kid's fingers swimming in Lake Minnetonka. You know what I mean?
That sounds so much worse than it is. Right. Jenny Bean and Goobs, I think you guys had more stuff that you wanted to show off, and I know Michael, you did as well. Jenny, what else did you guys have up there that you wanted to talk about?
I'll talk about one thing. I'll cut Jenny Bean off.
I don't really have anything to say.
But the Diamond Select Marvel Zombies figures.
Oh my god, I love these.
Rickshaw, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I got like the whole fucking set of them.
Your wife got you.
No, I bought the.
I take credit where credit is.
I went to the comic book store. There, like the bubble they came in was damaged. There's holes cut out of it, but like fuck it.
We're gonna open them anyways.
I'm gonna open them up. So I paid $20 a figure. Yeah. Even unboxed, some of them are worth like $200 to $300 right now.
That's so cool.
I got a Hulk, Captain America,
Spider-Man,
Magneto, and Sabretooth.
And you could kill a man with the Hulk.
The Hulk is fucking like super hefty.
Yeah. Dude, so that actually reminds me, there are Marvel, this is a super weird tangent, sorry. There are Marvel themed dildos, like vibrators out there. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but like.
Yeah, there's a giant Hulk.
The Hulk, dude. When you said like you can kill a man with the Hulk, that's immediately what I thought. It's like, did they see the same dildo I did?
Kill a man with the Hulk dildo.
But, yeah.
Spider Cock does.
See, I thought it was weird that they had both DC and Marvel theming going because there was the Cape Cock, the Hulk, the Iron Man. Like there's a whole like sexual toy collectible market out there.
I mean, exactly.
There's
Pikachu butt plugs
and My Little Pony ones where they have like the tail.
Thor's hammer, that's what if I was
only if
waiting for it, I would want Thor's hammer.
Bob suggested Iron Fist. I'm pretty sure that's what Goobs' Mega Man thing was earlier.
Nice. Yeah, I've also seen that band Ghost put out dildos at one point in time, and it was like, do you know what they look like? Does anyone have ever heard of Ghost? Okay, well, like
I know Ghost the band. Okay,
yeah, the Ghost the band. That's what I'm saying. The singer dresses up.
Yeah, the guy's a priest.
He dresses up like a priest. And he's got like skull face and and they made a dildo that looks like him dressed as the priest with the little skull face.
I feel like if you bought that, you've probably been touched by a priest before. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, that's pretty rock and roll. Imagine
catching
catching your granddaughter ordering that. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? This is devil music, and you're going
to go to granddaughter. You skip generations.
Hey, kids love metal. Okay.
I feel like that's
we're also collecting stamps right now.
What'd you say, Gibbs?
We're not grandparents. I said none of us are collecting stamps right now. We're not grandparents.
Well, Richie technically is. He just doesn't know it yet.
Technically, Miles is the one that got it. If I use the stamp,
he forced you into it.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's what a decision you have there. It's like Schrodinger's collectible.
And now all I picture is a cartoon about like stamp collecting, and each president has their own power, and like the kids go around town battling each other with
Like,
the
lick it on your forehead, and it gives you the ability.
Jefferson, I choose you.
They call it
Donald,
stamp.
look at them all,
Amazing.
presidents.
And you could teach kids about history that way too.
Educational and fun. That's what the
They
world
have
needs.
powers.
Stampede.
Political powers.
I think you just fixed the whole like school problem that we're having right now, where kids don't like. We don't know
There
if we
we
should send
go.
kids back to school or not. We shouldn't. We should just give them all stamps and have them
Yeah.
battle each other with history facts.
And let them lick them.
Eventually they'd be,
Gotta lick them all. Oh, that's wrong.
No.
And we just
Eventually
talked about
they'd be damn you for teaching me in such a fun way. Now I'm an
You stole my joke, fucker.
awful minds think alike, Goobs.
Yeah, I guess so.
We only have a few more minutes left, guys. Richie, did you have anything else that you want to talk about, and just either that you collect or just about collecting at all?
I'm gonna go grab something real fast. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Everyone always walks away when I talk,
yeah.
including Bob.
It'd be funny if we all
the
got
only
up
other-
and left right now.
The only thing I haven't talked about that I have is kind of what a few other people said. I have a whole bunch of cards, a lot of Simpsons cards from when I was younger, a lot of Spider-Man cards from the comic series actually that I very much think are cool and have a lot of fancy artwork on them. I think even like the Power Ranger movie when it came out had some cards that I collected. But other than that, the only other thing that's terrible. Another thing that I really enjoy is I have an original copy of Final Fantasy VII on the PS1
Ooh,
that I
nice.
bought.
Nice.
The store I got it from, this is only a few years ago, had it marked down as the greatest hits collection, and they didn't realize they had like the original cover and the original game, so they undercharged me for that. So that's one of the times that I actually went and collected something where I was like, I just know it's worth something, so I want it. But besides that, I mean, collecting for me has been more about doing something that you like, about things you like with people that you love, and it kind of brings you together. And it's something that I think, 20 years ago, people would look at all of us and be like, this is so nerdy, this is so stupid, what a waste of money. And they may not flat out say it, but they'll definitely think it. And it's so weird to look at the world now and see that we've done a complete flip where everyone really enjoys seeing collectibles now. And I guess it's part of the nerds taking over kind of thing.
I mean, you're like, I like things. Do you like things? We both like
Yeah,
things.
like things together.
Yeah, I like stuff, but like it's
Do we like the same
Yeah.
things? Even
it's
better.
just cool to see the world opening up this way, where like everybody can find their little corner of the world to go collect something in. It doesn't have to be comics or cards or action figures. It can be sports, or it can be something sciencey that I'm blanking on right now. Old used beakers from famous scientists. I don't know. I'm on a tangent here.
I have a friend that
But I'm
collects
just-
playbills from plays when those were a thing. So
Yeah, there you go. So there's something out there for everybody, and that's what's cool about it.
yeah. Same question, Rickshaw.
What was the question? I would jump
Oh
up
yeah,
real
you
fast.
totally left. Basically, just we only have a couple minutes left, but just last thoughts if you wanted to say anything else about it, collecting in general.
I mean, yeah, like if you see something that reminds you of like what time things were easier and you want it, go fucking get it and display it in your house. And then every time you fucking look at it, you're like, yeah, being a kid was awesome. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's all I have to say.
Damn
I'm gonna
right.
look, I saw this exclusive at Walgreens because they do that. Moon Knight.
Oh, dude,
Ooh.
that's cool as hell.
I'm not even, like I said, I'm all X-Men, but when you see a pretty figure, you just have to fucking grab it.
And now that's
sometimes.
going back to Austin
You
with
have
you
to,
to be
yeah.
on your
Yeah.
wall the next time you're on the show.
Yeah. Also, they put out like a fucking. There was a big Sentinel that they've done before. They put out an even bigger one. It's $350. It's like almost 3 foot tall or something, or 4 foot.
I'll wait for the life size one. That's the one I'll save up for.
I thought I saw a story with
Yeah, with has like a pussy.
Ew.
Jenny Bean and Goobs, last thoughts on collecting in general.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
Take whatever like you love.
Yeah, and
Just
just
collect a share of it.
Yeah, like you're not hurting anybody by loving the things you love and having them. Like you said, it makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy, If it's a comic book that you can read and be like, nice, or figures, or video games, movies,
Or
clothes,
tiki mugs.
anything. Who cares? Enjoy life.
Women's panties that you can
Okay,
smell.
I
Hey, we were
bath
talking
water.
about it before the show. I
Remember,
guess if it's
don't
not
hurt
hurting
anybody.
it's cool, man. All right, guys, we are at our time. So
Exactly.
give us
If you're
your
not
20-second
hurting anybody.
plug for all your shows. Goobs and Jenny Bean, plug your stuff. 20 seconds.
Check us out, the Derailers, on everything you listen to podcasts at. Check out Secret Levels on everything you listen to podcasts at. Have fun.
Michael
Listen
Martin,
to us.
Rickshaw.
Go on,
Yay.
Rickshaw,
Hey,
go.
Worship a Tribute Nerd. We have a YouTube channel. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're also on iHeartRadio. Yeah, we have a Discord. I don't know. Go to my page and figure it out. Worshipatributenerd@gmail.com. Nerdy stuff.
Whoop, whoop.
Music sometimes.
Nerdy stuff.
Horror sometimes.
And collecting
yeah,
it.
collecting.
Hell yeah. Richie, plug our shit.
We have a show, Best Darn Diddly. Follow us on Twitter at Best Darn Diddly. That's DIDDLY. If you don't know what The Simpsons is or was or ever has been, then you'll find out pretty quick.
Perfect. All right, guys. I'm Mr. Most Days
You
Off
said plug our
everywhere.
shit, so
Follow
I'm
me
gonna
online, and I'll be
butthole
back
finger in.
next week to talk with more nerds about more nerdy stuff that we love. Have a good one, and be cromulent to each other, and stay tuned on Fandom Friday for David from Tales from the Fandom. See you next week.
Enjoy it.